Hi everyone, welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. Today we are doing a bright, colorful look. It is June. It is Pride Month. So I thought we would do a little bit of color, you know. I don't know how it turned out, to be fair, but the palette, you'll see why in just a second. I could have done much better had I picked a palette that was a little bit more up my wheelhouse. But with that said, today we're still going on with the letter M, and it's Morphe. Now, I have talked about Morphe. I think that it's good for the price point. I don't think any of their products are like extraordinary, or well, except for their makeup mist. Now that's a different story. That is good. But with the exception of that, well, their sponges are pretty good too. But again, based on price point, is it better than Natasha Denona, Pat McGrath, YSL? No, it's not. But is it good? Yes. Can you work with it? Yes. Is it hit and miss? Yes. But what I will say is that when it comes to the brushes, I do prefer Morphe brushes over ColourPop. But I prefer ColourPop over Morphe when it comes to the beauty. There's very few things from Morphe really that I'm like, yeah, I could replace that with this, right? Now, their collab palettes, I don't know if they changed the formula. I don't know. They say they do, but who knows really, right? With that said, I do love the Jaclyn Hill palette 1 and 2. I do. I didn't mind the Meredith Duxbury one, the bigger one, but I like the littler one better personally. And again, like, is that a palette that is just her formula, or is that Morphe? Because here's the thing, why I'm asking is because if you can buy these highlighters, yeah, like, I'm all for those highlighters. I've said that from the beginning. Them highlighters are something else. The other palette that I truly liked from them was the Morphe and Madison Beer. Now, I don't know who that is. I don't follow them. But the palette itself, it does have a mirror in it. It has the names of the shades. But the palette is a basic palette. And it's beautiful. It's an everyday palette. You do get, cool tones, warm tones. But for the most part, it's pretty just neutral. Now, their brushes, I am using their brushes. I like their brushes. I really do. Especially the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe brushes. Those are some of my favorites, some of them. Not all of them, but some of them I would classify as I would be hurt if something happened to it. You know what I mean? And that's the thing with collabs, though. You never know. And you just, they come and they go, So if you don't get backups, or if something does happen, you're out of it. So if that is your favorite brush, or your favorite product, it ain't going to be there forever, And that's why I'm starting to think that collabs just, isn't the way to go. But for me today, again, it's Pride. I couldn't even tell you what year, and I bet this probably doesn't even have a year on it. It's got a 12-month shelf life. Well, I guess it's still doing good as far as that goes. It's called the Artistry palette, and it looks like this, and it came with a brush set in this thing here. And I am using the brushes, and I will say that this particular brush set did come with quite a few of my favorite brushes from them. Now, I will say that these brushes are just like the M22. Like, you can buy these without the pretty coloring on them. So I do like that about it. I wish ColourPop would reevaluate their brushes. I do. Okay, so the inside, there's a mirror, and it says Make Life Colorful. And then this is the palette. This is what it looks like. Is it pretty? Yeah. And, if you're looking for color, maybe. But I also have James Charles palette, the big one. So it has a lot of the colors, and I kind of like that formula better than this formula. So there's that. But again, if I'm going for color, I'm not going to lie to you, I would go buy a ColourPop colorful palette. I'm just being honest. I would buy their brushes, but I guess it's whatever's easiest for you to get. It would be where I would say, I can make this palette work, as you'll see. Let's go ahead with what's on my face. So for foundation, I went with the Lancome. How do I forget this? I use this every day. Care and Glow. Not every day, but look though, I ain't got much of it left. But I do have a backup right here. So I'm wearing that. For concealer, I am wearing the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer, but I do not know where I put it because there was fallout, so we'll get there though. For bronzer and blush and highlighter, the highlighter came out of the Morphe palette, but bronzer and blush, I just grabbed the Tantastic palette again. Is that right? Nope. I grabbed the Tantalize palette. Yeah. By Marc Jacobs. And I'm using the bronzer and blush on my cheek. Just not the highlighter today because I pulled from that. What else? So I would say that they're really good with their setting sprays, their brushes, their sponges. Like for price point. Again, price point. So, but let's get started. Oh, lip liner. I'm wearing the Sweet Tea lip liner. I used to not be like brown, like just not my thing, but I've come to like it a little bit. And I put the Sweet Tea lip liner on. I don't even know what. Probably put it back. Did I put it back? Oh, it's right here. So the Morphe Sweet Tea lip liner, and I colored in my lips, and then I put this Marc Jacobs Sugar right in the middle, and I do think those two shades look really good together. I really do like that. Alright, let's get started on this palette. So the first shade we're going to go into is Sunlight, which is this yellow. And I'm going to just sort of map it out right now, and then I'm going to press it in, because when it comes to yellows, we all know they ain't going to be pigmented. It just is what it is. But I just need to map it out somewhat so I can see what I'm doing here. And then I'll pick it up and stamp it. And I'm using the M513. Which, to be fair, is a good brush. Like I said, I own a lot of their brushes, and there's a lot of them I like, just within their main line. A part of me wishes I would have ordered a second set of the Jaclyn Hill, but the other part of me is, well, not really, because you can't get them anymore, And I do generally, I really have been enjoying the BK Beauty and the Rephr brushes. So there is that. But I'm wondering if Morphe's even going to make it at the end of the day. I'm really curious on it. And that's the thing, they just don't have staples. In their line that, that other brands have. Again, their setting spray is a staple. It really is. I'll give them that. Their sponges and stuff, they're not bad. I'm sorry if you hear the phone ringing. We're going to go into the shade Sexuality, which is this bright pink. And again, these colors are pigmented. They are. And they're blending nicely. Especially considering this palette's old. Like, I'm not even going to lie, it's old. I don't even know what year this came out. I'm trying to think, and I'm thinking 2020, but at the same time, I don't know. But it's been a while since I've done a colorful look like this. So on one hand, it's like so nice to do a colorful look. And the shadows are fine. Like I said, they're performing fine. I'm not having a hard time or anything with them. But I would have liked, I should have picked a palette with better selection of color to create a colorful look. But I just thought this palette kind of, went with Pride Month, and it does give me somewhat of a colorful look. And again, it's on me. I chose the colors. I definitely could have created a better look had I chosen different colors, for sure. Alright, oops, I'm going to drop everything. We're going to take the shade hashtag Love Wins, which is this purple. And I'm going to run it under the lower lash line. I'm not really getting kick up out of this palette. And the mattes, they're pigmented, they're blending well. Like, I'm not getting any fallout from the mattes. Like, I had no issues at all with the mattes. They're beautiful, as far as I'm concerned. And again, trust me, if there was a problem, you would see it. There's no editing here, okay? If I screw up, you're going to see it. I do not think that Morphe is as bad as everybody claims. I just don't think they're as good as everybody claims. If that makes sense. Like, I think their shadows are fine. And again, if you're basing it off of, like, other drugstore, I mean, I don't know. Like, I really can't speak to that. I can compare ColourPop and Morphe because I've had a lot of palettes from them. You know what I mean? I don't really buy that many drugstore. I guess I could. I just don't see why. Here's the thing. I could. Easily. Like, without a doubt, I could buy palettes from the drugstore. Let's go into the Color Life, which is this red. Which, it is red. I do appreciate that. I could buy, for sure, palettes from the drugstore and try them. But I don't like their packaging. Every single time I purchased, okay, y'all know I love the Reynolds Tape powder, right? That package busts every time. Every time. Do I care? No, not really, because it's $5. But, I also know that I also wouldn't take that with me anywhere. Not that I go anywhere, but if I did. Like, there's just certain things that I need and want everything. I want quality. I want packaging. And I need it to match the price point, though. You know what I mean? And I understand that if you're buying a $5 eyeshadow palette, chances are it's not going to be great packaging. But is the plastic packaging that breaks really that much cheaper than cardboard packaging? I mean, I'm just curious. If it is, then I guess I see. And it is correct. It's not about packaging. It's about what's inside. But if the packaging doesn't hold, it doesn't matter what's inside, because what's inside is going to break too. So I kind of think that packaging does matter. And then I'm like, even if it is good because the packaging is bad or isn't as pretty, I know I won't grab for it. So therefore, again, we're back to, well, then it's a waste, so to say. We're going to go into the shade Truth. And I am just going to darken up that outer corner there a little bit. just so that when I bring that blue in, it kind of makes sense. Because when I first laid it down, I'll be honest, I laid it against that red and it made no sense. But once I laid down the truth shade, it made sense then. But I mean, that's a pretty dark shade and it's going on very pretty. Again, no fallout. No patchiness, no skipping. It all looks like it's blending very well together, to be fair. From where I'm sitting. So I'm hoping that that's what's picking up in the camera. And again, I'm not a makeup artist. But I feel like if I can do it, you guys can do it, for sure. We're going to go back into the red shade Life. We're just going to backtrack now. Okay. Then we're going to go into that hot pink Sexuality. I will say the colors pick up pigmented on the brushes. Just me barely touching into it. It's picking up nicely. This is the only brush that's not Morphe I'm using. But it's still a drugstore brush. It's called Lunar Magic. I do like that brush a lot. Okay, now we're going to go into the shade Peace. And this is where the fallout happens. So I'm going to be a little more careful. I could have sprayed the brush with Morphe spray, but I didn't. It was easy for me to clean up though. I will say that I just took the concealer that I was using and covered it. So that was kind of nice, but you know, I'm going to try not to make that mess this time by having a little bit of a lighter hand and a little bit more patience. I kind of really just threw in one over here, to be fair. But you know, alright, are you seeing what I'm seeing? And this is the thing with Morphe shadows, and I feel like drugstore in general. I just applied the shade, and it is looking vibrant. On this side, though, I haven't had this eye on that long, unlike usual. It's probably been done for maybe 10 minutes. And do you see how the vibrancy is already, like, gone compared to this eye? I'm going to try to bring that back a little bit, the vibrancy. Okay. So that is that can be a problem, just so you know, with this. Liberation, I'm going to pick up right here. And we're just going to pat it in the inner corner. I'm using the Tarte Fake Away White liner for my waterline. This is a pretty color too. Okay. Yeah, I got it the same. Alright, then I'm going to take a rougher brush. You know my favorite. And we are going to line with the shade Truth. Right here. I use quite a few shades actually out of this palette. But we're going to take that shade Truth, and I'm going to line the top lash line and the bottom lash line. Okay, so because I did go in a little easier with that blue shade, I am noticing that I don't have fallout, so that's good. And again, I know that I could have sprayed the brush or used a glitter glue something to stop that, but I did my first anything. But just so you know, it tends to happen with Morphe palettes. My only thing, like I said, with Morphe or any palette is that the shades just don't hold up as vibrant. But sometimes, you know, with higher end, they may not look good in the beginning, but by the end of the day, I'm like, man, that is looking good. And it's based on your eye and what you use and how you use it and all that good stuff too. I personally just don't want to take 5 extra steps because I take so many as it is, and I'm so slow as it is, that I just need to slap it on and go, you know? Now, if I have time to play, I ain't that much worried about it because I'm playing. And like today, I'm playing, so generally with color, if I'm playing with color, it's because I'm playing. Or I just need time to myself, but that means that I have already dedicated time to myself, so I'm not needed for anything. Okay, now we're going to go back into that hashtag love wins, correct? Yep. And I'm just going to make sure that that color is still on that lower lash line peeking through. I don't know, there's just something about this look though that part of me is like, I don't really care for it, but then the other part of me is like, it didn't turn out really bad. It turned out pretty good, to be fair. I don't know. I'm like 50-50 with it. Like, I don't think it's bad at all, period. Maybe not what I wanted, for sure, but it's not bad at all. And I can tell you, I haven't played with that palette, to be fair, since I bought it. And reviewed it whatever year it came out. I'm not gonna lie there either. Alright, we're gonna, for the top lashes, take my Marc Jacobs. Again, it's just, now the Jaclyn Hill I have played with. The Madison Beer. The Meredith Duxbury, I've not played with the shadows, but I have played with the highlighters. So yeah, it's just not a brand that, now I use their brushes a lot, that, you know, but as far as like makeup products, it's not in my wheelhouse. Brushes, the spray, the setting spray, even the sponges I like of Morphe's. But I think if you're on a budget and you need to make a look work, I do think these shadows can work. I don't think they're as bad as people want them to be, but I don't think they're as good as people want them to be either. And there's nothing wrong with that. It can still create a very beautiful look. Vibrant, colorful, easy to do. So I really don't see any issues. I mean, I'm hoping that it'll hold its pigmentation, but even if it doesn't, it's only going to fade a little bit. And again, there's ways to make sure that it doesn't fade. We're going to use the no we're not. I was going to say we're using the Lancome for the bottom lashes, but no we're not. We're using the MAC. I just forgot to put the Lancome away from the other day. Do you all have any Morphe palettes still in your collection? Any that you still use? I mean, I have more than this in my collection of Morphe for sure. I've gotten rid of a few at this point though to my grandkids, but I kept a few still yet. But obviously you can tell that I don't use them often. I haven't bought from the brand in a while either, besides placing that order for like 3 setting sprays and brushes or sponges. So, but overall, I think it performed nice. I don't mind it. I don't, again, think it's revolutionary or the greatest thing since buttered bread, but I think it does its job. That I do think. I think it was easy to do. And I think it's cute. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on the brand. Do you buy anything still even? Is there any holy grails that you're other than the ones I mentioned? And maybe they're not your holy grails, but is there any holy grails that are like, yes, you need to try this? Like maybe there's a blush or a bronzer or a lipstick, like something. I don't know. To be fair, I don't know. But let me know. But again, if I had to pick Morphe or ColourPop, and maybe it's because of all the controversies, but I'm picking ColourPop. But I feel like that's because I do generally like their makeup more. Because if I had to buy brushes, I would pick Morphe in a heartbeat. Because I think I give them all to my kids, okay? That's how bad. I don't like not one ColourPop brush. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was fun in some way. Yeah, we're gonna continue on carrying on the M's. I think I got a couple more brands with that, so, and we'll move on to the next letter. But give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all that way you're notified when I upload. I upload every day but Sunday, unless there's a new launch or I just want to film. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, and I will see you in the next one. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.